If I speak in the tongues of mortals and of angels, but do not have love.
Prince William gave a Bible reading at a memorial service at Manchester Cathedral. Prime Minister Theresa May among the dignitaries in attendance.
Manchester was and is a beacon of hope, I think, around a very divided world.
A national moment of silence was observed in mid-afternoon as heightened security revealed the continuing concern over public safety. Ariana Grande tweeted her support, thinking of you all today and every day, sending you all the light and warmth I have to offer on this challenging day. Her message showed the Manchester Bee, which became a symbol of the city's resilience in the days following the tragedy. Jesse Lingard, a beloved player for Manchester U, said a lot in just a few words. Always in our hearts, never forgotten, we stand together. As we said, children bore the brunt of this terrible attack. Many young lives were shattered in a living nightmare. Their year has been spent trying to move past it. Nala Ayed got to know one girl who was only 12 when she saw what no child should see.
Far enough away from Manchester City, on a journey in search of healing, a few lucky ones can see far beyond the scars of the past. This is the story of one survivor.
Kipper, Hardy.
Yasmin Lee is only 13. But just a year into a life-changing journey, she's a girl who's grown up decades.
I'm good, yeah. I'm not great, but I'm not really bad. I'm kind of in the middle. I feel like comfortable, like it's just every day, like this is what happened and I'm not afraid of it. Like I'm not afraid of my trauma.
To rise above the trauma, it takes courage and it takes a village. Her family's, of course, key. The doctors, teachers, and the therapy docs.
I went with my friend. We went to the concert together.
So are the support groups, like the Peace Foundation, which cares for people affected by terrorism. They feature Yasmin in one of their videos.
We went to the top of the stairs, we went into the foyer, and then that's when it happened. I got knocked over by the force. Some of the shrapnel went through the back of my leg. I just remember seeing this bin and be like, I'm gonna hide behind this bin in case there's something else. But my friend's mum screamed, run, and she dragged me until I was on my feet.
So what did you do yesterday, Jasmine? Jasmine, you say I'm still calling you Jasmine.
Since then, there have been easier days and many hard ones. Skin grafts and sometimes flashbacks, but also triumphs in the unlikeliest places. A major one made possible by Kelda Wood.
Honey!
She too nearly lost her leg and all her confidence in an accident, crushed by a bale of hay. She knows all about trauma.
I lost my identity, I lost who I was, who I wanted to be. But I decided to climb Kilimanjaro. By the time I got back home, I'd come up with the idea of climbing out. I just wanted to give other people the opportunity to kind of rediscover themselves and just realise that injury, illness, trauma, it can be life-changing, but it doesn't have to be life-limiting.
This is where the village idea really comes to life. Climbing Out counselors combine outdoor adventure with the power of a group sharing past and present. The first program for survivors of the Manchester bombing signed up 13 youth, including Yasmin.
There was a lot of anxiety, a lot of, again, one young girl turned up and, had a panic attack, shut herself in the toilet, couldn't look anyone in the eye. And I think more than anything, it was almost that feeling of them being stuck.
1 week to get them unstuck. And between climbing, kayaking, and talking, to shift their thinking from past to future, from victim to survivor. By Thursday, the anxiety and nightmares diminished. They'd climbed above the Pain to Pavey Arc in northern England, nearly 700 meters above sea level.
It felt so good, afterwards, it felt like a weight had been lifted, off my shoulders. It built my confidence so much, more than I could have imagined.
The lid just came off. And and just everything came out. But the beauty was that we were then there to be able to support and help them process it. And it was like they left it up on the mountain.
Such success is precious. So to keep the momentum, Wood asks every survivor to share a short-term goal before they leave.
And Yasmin's goal was to go back into Manchester city centre, which she hadn't done since the attack.
1 week to the day, Yasmin posted this picture. She'd gone back to the city that knew the most painful moment of her past with her closest friends.
It was really nice because we were so excited and you didn't even have time to think about I was nervous.
That's the challenge, isn't it? And
For Wood, it is all intensely personal and part of her own challenging journey. It's why she's in training now to cross the Atlantic Ocean solo. She'd be the first adaptive person to make the crossing alone by boat. She's dedicating each lonely day on the water to a young survivor of trauma, including Yasmin.
If I can inspire, encourage, support other people to get out of that place and to move forwards, that will make every single mile, every bad day, every scary moment of the row completely worth it.
She's so inspirational to look up to as well. She's been through a lot and it just kind of shows that anything is possible and you can do everything.
So a year on, Yasmin too is testing the limits with music, exactly how it all began.
Here comes the sun.
Today, along with the Manchester Survivors Choir, she sang to mark 1 year down.
It's so nice, you can't even describe how you just feel like you've known everyone and that you're meant to be together. And I think a year is quite significant and I've come a long way in that year and I think it's really important to remember that.
This is the past drowned out by the future. Still, it's impossible to forget. Nala Ayed, CBC News, Llangollen in North Wales.
Mental trauma plagues many people in Manchester. Police say more than 1,000 officers and support workers have accessed mental health care in the past year. And the investigation itself also continues. About 100 officers are still on the case. They believe the suicide bomber, Salman Abedi, did not act alone. In the weeks after the attack, police arrested 23 people as suspects, but all were released without charges. Now officials are waiting for the bomber's brother, Hashim Abedi, to be extradited from Libya. If he is returned to the UK, he will be charged with 22 murders and other offences.